Good. So a pleasant good evening, everyone. Always a pleasure to be in your company. You know, they say the right thing to say is good evening. Is when you say good night when you're leaving, right? So even though it's after 9, it's really good evening. So good evening, guys. Yours truly, Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. So yesterday we had a very interesting live, as we are customarily have, and we were actually supposed to start 8:30 today, but of course we had to make some necessary adjustments as regards to what we're going to discuss this evening. So two things, Batson and Associates will be making an appearance tomorrow, please God, as regards to health symposium. Excuse me. That we're having tomorrow, please God, and that will be taking place at 6 p.m. and that's in Paramin. That's something that we actually doing with Mr. Keyshawn Vane and his team as regards to health and wellness, bringing about awareness to individuals. All those of you who looking to lose weight, that's something, and lose weight naturally with the help of exercise. I am not an advocate of weight loss without exercise. I always tell persons that I don't believe in that. I mean, yes, we know we're busy individuals. We have certain times as regards to, we're very busy. So sometimes we don't really get to do the exercise that we want to do. But I tell persons, even if you do 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, once you do something and you get your heart moving, you get your heart rate up, you increase your oxygen and your breathing in terms of your intake of oxygen. Once you do that consistently over a period of time, it is going to bear fruit. You're going to reap good rewards from that. So, it's very important to include some form of exercise in your routine. We're going to be discussing that. Of course, tonight's program, we primarily focus on hormonal imbalance, or what is known as hormonal disruption in women. Now, hormonal imbalance is something that affects men as well. However, we're going to really deal with the ladies this afternoon as it relates to things like polycystic ovaries, fibroids, ovarian cysts, endometriosis, and on and on and on and on. A lot of persons out there suffering unnecessarily, and Batson and Associates, are really, really conscious and really understand how important it is to really get you healthier. So we're going to be doing a lot of work as regards to community work. One of those first events that we'll be having, as I mentioned, is that event that we're doing with Mr. Keyshawn Vane, who, is a young man I have a lot of respect for. He's a great advocate of, promoting a level of independence, a level of, being able to work for yourself and actually be healthy. And I think you can't get better than that, because we know your health is your wealth. And if you could be in an organization that promotes wellness and gives you the opportunity to not only be well and take care of yourself, but also to promote that to your family and your loved ones, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. And if in doing that, just by you referring individuals and speaking to individuals about their health, you're actually able to help a lot of individuals. So that event is taking place tomorrow. Please God, it's tomorrow at 6 p.m. and that's taking place at Paramin. We will actually be at I believe it is the community center. I'll just finalize some of the things here because I have so many messages that I have to actually go through and so many events that I have to remember. All right. So, of course, as I said, this afternoon's topic, we will actually be talking about hormonal imbalance, or what is known as hormonal disruption in women. Good. Yes. So it will actually be taking place at 6 p.m. That's tomorrow, please God. That's the holiday. And that is the wellness promotion that we're having there. So you can always get some information or additional information about that, and we will be able to provide the necessary information where that is concerned. Okay, so let me say a pleasant good evening. Keep in mind we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook and on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Ruiz, Gwen Ruiz, Miss Elizabeth Mary, Kylia Mackenzie, Marcella Smith, Fontinel. I hope I pronounced your name properly, and Mr. Kyle Thomas. So a pleasant good evening to all you guys. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. So, as I'm saying, we're discussing hormonal disruption. So I'll go back a little bit. What are hormones? Hormones are chemical messengers in the body. Chemical messengers. So let's break that down. What does that mean? So hormones, like for example, testosterone is a hormone. Estrogen, in this particular case, we're discussing women. So estrogen is a vital hormone that maintains or help women to do a number of things. Maintain proper menstrual cycle. Women need sufficient amount of estrogen in order to have a proper menstrual cycle, in order to actually have egg production. They need estrogen for a number of different functions in the body. They also need progesterone. They also need prolactin and a number of others. Now, the thing is, even during pregnancy, in order for a female to get pregnant, remain pregnant and carry to term, her hormones are supposed to be at a particular level. So it's very important that women understand the roles of hormones in their body. And also it's very important that women understand when they have issues with hormonal imbalance. You all get what I'm saying? So what are some of the symptomology that women experience as it relates to hormonal imbalance? Tell me. So what do women experience that is a clear giveaway that they have hormonal imbalance without doing any tests? Let me see if you all know the answer. A pleasant good evening to Miss Pauline McKenna, Miss Janice Hampton. Good evening to you, Miss Rosemary Bishop. She says, good night, Dr. Batson. Good seeing you tonight, watching from Brooklyn, New York. Always a pleasure to have you on. Kezia Lanciquio. Yes, I remember that surname. A pleasant good evening to you, Melissa Brown. She talks, right. So weight gain is one of the answers that Melissa Brown gives. Miss Rochelle Parsons Matthews, a pleasant good night to you. So Melissa is right. One of the key indicators of a hormonal imbalance in women is weight gain. Miss Mary Elizabeth says inflammation. Pauline McKenna says painful periods. And they are all correct. So as Melissa Brown said, weight gain. Miss Mary Elizabeth said inflammation. And Pauline McKenna said painful periods. Miss Marcella Smith says infertility. Again, correct. So you'll see how many issues that women experience as a result of hormonal imbalance. So let's go to the painful periods. So it have young ladies on the live here. We know women now start seeing their menstrual cycle much earlier than before. So in my mother's time, my mother is about, close to 70 years. So if you check the maths, at that time, they really didn't have too much problems with hormonal imbalance. They had little one or two issues, but it's not as bad as before. My grandmother, who is going to be in her mid-80s, almost 90, they didn't have those problems. Now, a lot of people would argue and say, well, the problems existed, but because of the lack of medical expertise, or maybe the lack of certain medical technology, we weren't able to identify the problem. I agree and I disagree to some extent, because a lot of persons were not as sick as they are now. And the reason for that has a lot to do, with what we put into our bodies and what we do not put into our bodies, right? So what about ladies who are trying to lose weight? There are those of you who are literally frustrating the living daylights out of yourself. You're running around on the savannah, you're doing your exercise, you're doing your treadmill, you're in the gym diligently, you're running, you're doing all sorts of things. You're eating good, but you're not losing a pound. You know yourself. Does this resonate with anyone? Where you're exercising, you're doing all what you're supposed to do, you're eating good, but not for nothing. That belly fat that you have there, that fat that is making you look off key and out of timing. All you know the fat I'm talking about. If you put on a nice jeans, you're nothing looking proper there. That's the fat I'm talking about. Visceral fat. And visceral fat is a key indicator of hormonal imbalance. Yeah, the fat, ladies, you like to have on your jeans and the jeans must fit you. It's about where a jeans supposed to fit you, It's about where your clothes supposed to fit you. The jeans supposed to fit you nice. Where you're seeing by the navel, they go straight down, everything looking flush and nice. When you see how all them lumpy bumpies there, we don't want that. And this is not me attempting to be facetious or condescending or have anybody, feeling any kind of way. But what I want you to understand, them lumpy bumpies and them, you don't want that lumpy bumpy don't look good. That don't look good at all. You don't like how that looking? And I telling you, definitely, your spouse, your partner, or whoever, they could do it all the lumpy bumpy day. We don't want that. So today we're talking about dealing with the lumpy bumpies. And those lumpy bumpies have to do with what? Hormonal imbalance. So that's what we're talking about today, ladies. How are we going to lose this weight as a result of this hormonal imbalance challenge? Let me say a pleasant good evening to Leslie Ann Puenkowski. Always a pleasure to have you, Miss Didis Hurst, Miss Mary Elizabeth. A pleasant good evening to you, Miss Melissa. So everybody now saying that is them. So I know, ladies, that there are a lot of y'all out there who want to get rid of these lumpy bumpies. We don't want the lumpy bumpy. We want that jeans fitting you flush and nice from by the navel. Go straight in. Everything must look nice, flush, clean. That's what we want. So how are you going to do that? The first thing you need to do is balance the hormones. Hormonal imbalance or hormonal disruption in women is one of the key indicators or one of the key reasons why women have problems losing weight. And you all know the weight I'm talking about, ladies. I'm not talking about the weight around by your arms. I'm not talking about weight by the side. I'm talking about the weight day. That all you know the annoying weight where you look like you're carrying a pouch there. Now, in some people, that is actually feces. I'll say that again. In some persons, that is actually fecal matter. And you know how I know that? A lot of the times at the clinic, when we send clients to do their ultrasounds, so we might do a letter for you to go and have an abdominopelvic ultrasound done. And when you do the abdominopelvic ultrasound and the results come back, one of the things that the ultrasound says is that you have fecal loading. I'll be very plain and blunt with you guys tonight. Fecal loading. Chan, Kisun, Chan said the struggle is real. Yeah, Chan. Fecal loading. So you know what I mean? It literally have fecal matter inside of your bowels. Now, try and digest that for a period of time as regards to what I'm saying. Fecal matter. So, we have to proper and use the medical term. So the medical term is feces. But that's something else I want to say. But because of manners and decency and I'm trying to have some decorum these days, I wouldn't say it. But you all know where it is inside of there. You have fecal matter build up in your intestines. Do you understand how unhealthy that is? Do you understand the amount of problems that you could have, the amount of issues that fecal matter being stuck in your intestines could cause you? Think about it. If you do not empty garbage in your house, how long could you stay or live in a house with garbage? How long? Tell me. How long? Not long at all. Because it means that you're also suffering from something known as auto-intoxication. The prefix auto means self. Intoxication means what? Poison. So the first product I could highlight for you from Batson and Associates while we continue is the Santulan. What is Santulan? Santulan, spelled S-A-N-T-U-L-A-N, which stands for, in Hindi, is a Hindi word. It means balance or equilibrium. So Santulan is a 7-channel detox that cleans and detoxifies, listen, kidney, colon, your bloodstream, your liver, your lymphatic system, your skin, and your lungs. So do you think a product like that would help the lumpy bumpies? Of course it would. It will also start to help in regulating your hormones. which organ system in the body controls hormones? Which one? Your endocrine system. So an endocrinologist, for example, is a person who specializes in dealing with issues associated with the endocrine system. So we're talking about thyroid problems. So those of you who have parathyroid issues, so you have hypothyroidism, which is low thyroid function. If you have hyperthyroidism, which is high thyroid function, that is a sign, or that is going to cause hormonal imbalance. If you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, well, there's a clear runaway. You pass that test, and there's a test you shouldn't be passing. Because polycystic ovarian syndrome is a clear indication that something is seriously wrong with you. Where there is smoke, there is always fire. Always remember that. Ms. Andrea Love says, Doc, can you touch on adenomyosis and endometriosis? Thank you. I will touch on that for you, Ms. Andrea Love. Okay, Ms. Mary, Ruby, Sammy, a pleasant good evening to you. So, because endometriosis and adenomyosis are also serious conditions associated with hormonal disruption in the body. But it's not only hormonal disruption, it is also indication of what? Chronic inflammation in the uterus. Yesterday evening, I normally have a question and answer on Sunday and a Sunday, and we had a lot of persons on that live last night. One of the things that causes issues is inflammatory response. So hormonal imbalance, if you have a hormonal imbalance issue, so you have a problem with progesterone, you have a problem with estrogen, you have a problem with testosterone. Because women who have beards, and this again is not being facetious or condescending in any manner, but it's just stating the points. Women who have beards or hair on their face have excess what? Testosterone. So if you have excess in anything and it is not balanced, it is going to cause serious problems. Very important as regards to that. So it's vitally important, it's key that you bring balance back to the body. So Ms. Andrea Love asked us to talk a bit about adenomyosis and endometriosis. Yeah, Mary Elizabeth says 20 pounds of extra poop. Yeah. There are some people when they die and they perform autopsies on them, they actually find fecal matter in their intestines. So let me explain something to you. When people get cancer, that is not something to take for granted. You know, healthy people don't get cancer. And again, this is not me trying to be facetious or condescending or try to buff anybody, but I'm talking facts. Cancer is a serious indication of a number of things that has gone wrong in your body. And it's very sad that a lot of persons do not find out they have cancer until it is stage 4 and stage 5. And that is why I do programs like these. That is why I became a doctor in integrated medicine, to help persons to understand the importance and the value of taking care of themselves. So inflammation in the body, once you have excessive inflammation, you cannot be healthy. End of discussion. Usually when you go to the medical doctors, what do they give you for inflammation? They would give you one of two things, or one of 2 or 3 treatment protocols. They will give you one, either corticosteroids, so they will recommend prednisolone for you. How long could you use that? And then you have to study too, because when they give you the prednisolone, they also have to look at running tests on you every 3 months, because they have to look at the liver and your kidney. So let's say you're doing that now and they do a kidney function test on you, and then you realize you have to go on dialysis. How does that make sense? So in order to deal with the inflammation, they would either give you steroids, they will give you chemotherapy, which is something like methotrexate or something like that, or they will give you immune suppressant drugs, which doesn't make any sense to me. But again, medicine and the practice of medicine is also dependent on experience. Don't let anybody fool you and figure. And if it's one thing I have, is a lot of experience, 15 years of experience. And that is a lot, especially for the amount of persons that I would have dealt with. So it means that if you're having hormonal imbalance challenges, you need to go to what? The root cause of the problem. Where did this hormonal imbalance challenge come from in the first place? Now, notice I spoke about fecal loading. So as it relates to endometriosis, what is endometriosis? Endometriosis is thickening of the uterine lining. So a person who has endometriosis is when cells that are supposed to be inside of the uterus grow outside of the uterus. Do you understand what I'm saying there? So endometriosis is when cells of the uterine cavity that are supposed to be on the inside of the uterus, the cell type, which is not supposed to be outside, it grows outside the wall of the uterus. It is a very painful thing to have. And if you have endometriosis, you are just a few steps away from cancer. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, which is why your protocol have to be a serious protocol as regards to what you do and how you do certain things. You cannot have endometriosis and eat normal, and you need to take your body through a certain process of change. You need to take your body through a certain, look at your hydration. I always argue with people for drinking water and proper water. We ain't gonna get into the type of water because that's the next thing. I saw someone was talking about something about not drinking water, and if you really understand what water is and you understand the dynamics of the human body from the perspective of anatomy and physiology and biochemistry, you will understand why water is important. But it's the type of water. There are a lot of dead water that we have now. Water is supposed to naturally have minerals in it: calcium, magnesium, potassium, a certain amount of sodium, in order for the water to be living and to do what it is supposed to do for the body. How much glasses of water do you drink? So, of course, our settings have changed a bit tonight as well. So the telephone numbers, we usually have those telephone numbers, but I'm going to give you them. So the telephone numbers to call, you can get us on 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. Again, that's 314-9975. That's our WhatsApp number, as well as 222-8261. Again, 222-8261. And of course, those locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We're also on the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Davie. We also in Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James, and Tobago, of course, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Kathy Clark. She says, "Hi, Dr. Batson. How are you doing? It's been a while since I've seen you." I'm great, my dear. You know, working hard as usual, or working smart, I should say, as usual. Dandy Max said, "I was treated as having loaded colon. Was very scary because of the possibility. Thank God, result was good. Now I'm making sure to take care of this body. Suggestions needed, doctor? No problem." So Dandy Mac, what I will do, I tell persons, you need to do intermittent cleansing and get a good cleanse. That is why I'm an advocate of Santulan. Santulan is a product. Santulan has 15 years of experience and backing behind it. That's a lot of years. It is an excellent product. The price just increased recently. After 14 years is when the price actually changed, which is quite good because we just raised it because we had no other choice in the matter. But it's a good product. It cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. But I always tell persons in order to do, because let me tell you something, there are a lot of persons who talk about detox. There are a lot of people who sell detoxes, but a lot of people do not understand how individuals should be detoxed. Not all detox, or not the same way that your neighbor detox is the same way that you need to be detox or to take a detox. Everybody is different. Their circumstances might be different. There might be someone who has an issue with dehydration. There are a lot of persons who are dehydrated. So if you're dehydrated and go and take a cleanse, you could imagine the manner of problems you're going to be in. And then you're going to blame the people product and say the product isn't good. No, it's not the product, it is you. Could you mop a house with a cup of water? Look at this size cup. I'm having tea today. I'm actually having my circulation regeneration tea. That tea that assists with blood pressure and circulation. Excellent product. I don't have hypertension, but I don't want it, so I use it. I use it as a precaution. So, not all cleansing is the same, and not everyone requires cleansing in the same manner. That's the next thing. You see, what people try to do is they try to fit everybody in one kind of category. And even though we are the same, we are essentially what? Different. So check out that Santul and also check out the Alkagen water, which is a premium alkaline water that we carry at Batson and Associates. Now, a lot of people would say, why alkaline water? I'll tell you why. Alkaline water is actually used as a medical device in Japan. Now, I made a statement some time ago because I did Chinese medicine. I was fortunate enough to do Chinese holistic medicine as one of my levels of qualification, in addition to clinical nutrition and medical nutrition, right? And one of the things that Chinese holistic medicine follows, because it's a lot of energy-based medicine, which I love because it really focuses on, the Chinese focus on what is known as your qi. Now, people use the word qi and they take it lightly and they laugh and that kind of thing, but that's a serious thing, eh? There's also something in Chinese known as feng shui, which they talk about how you will set up your house and how you do certain things. So we don't understand that in the universe, there are certain laws. Like, for example, gravity is a law, right? Physics states that all bodies falling towards the earth fall at a constant acceleration known as acceleration due to gravity. Now, there's a particular measurement, which I can't remember off the top of my head. I did physics, but that was years ago. But I could still remember that law, and that's a law of gravity. So that law of gravity states that all bodies falling towards the earth fall at a constant acceleration. So if you take a ball and you drop it from space, if you take a big stone, you drop it from space, you take something, you drop it from, well, not in space, sorry, because you don't have gravity in space, but it must be dropped in a particular altitude where gravity is now present, and those bodies going to consistently fall to the earth with a specific acceleration known as acceleration due to gravity. Then there's a law that Newton has, which is one of the laws of motion. I think there was 3 laws of motion or something like that. I could remember off the top of my head, but I know for sure there's a specific law that states that to every action there is a specific type of reaction. And that's one of the things that I highlighted last night. You don't expect you sow, or you reap rather what you sow. So if you're a female and you haven't painful menstrual cycle for years and you was minding your business and you're just taking it as whatever, you're taking painkillers, the time is going to come when you're going to go to the doctor, you're going to feel some sort of pain, and they're going to tell you that you have ovarian or you have uterine cancer or some sort of cancer. And the reason for that is because the chronic inflammation has become so high that your body is now in a state that it is ready to develop cancer. Now, you all might find I didn't say that in a nice way, right? Because why is he talking about cancer like cancer is something normal? Cancer is not something normal. But normal people and healthy people do not get cancer. I am not blaming anyone. I'm not chastising anyone. But what I'm saying to you, if you would mind your business a little better, and take better care of yourself, you will not get cancer. Now, there are a number of things that cause cancer because you could be exposed to carcinogens. So you could be working in an environment. You could have been working in oil and gas. You could have been a painter. You could be someone who deals as a mechanic. All these people, you could be a hairdresser. You could be a nail tech. I fed up talk to hairdressers. Always look nice and all. You hear this be do up nice and all kind of thing. But plenty of you all going to die some horrible deaths. You know why? You don't mind your business. You cannot be a hairdresser doing people hair and dealing with things like acetone and all the foolishness in a nice way that all it is put in your hair. Because they use things with peroxide and all those type of things. You are inhaling that. If you are smelling that on a consistent basis and things, how do chemicals enter the body? Someone answer me. How do chemicals enter the body? Chemicals enter your body 3 ways. 3 ways. Or infections enter the body 3 ways. What are the 3 ways? 3 ways. Right? your pores. So dermally, respiratory, and Margill says eye, nose, skin. Correct. Leslie and Puyankowski, inhalation, skin. Yeah. So eyes, correct. Why do you think doctors stop women from doing their hair? Ophthalmologists. Because anything that you put in your scalp, anything that goes down inside of here, that's one of the reasons why I become a Rasta man. Or get locks, however you want to call it. Because I didn't want nobody touching up my hair, and I don't put no sort of foolishness in my hair or on my skin either. Because anything that you put, you know what is our law in natural medicine? If you cannot bathe with it, do not drink it. You want me to say it again? If you cannot bathe with it, do not drink it. So that's just to help all you, or some of the nonsense that people just be drinking. If you cannot bathe with it, do not drink it. You hear what I said? Because it means it gets in the body via your dermis, your pores. So you are, as a hairdresser, you doing people here, you are smelling that. You'll ever pass by a nail tech? I don't know how nail techs this function. And let me tell you something, no PPP, no mass, and all kind of thing could save, yeah? Now, it's prevention. It will keep a lot out, but you need to take a detox. You need to take a detox. You cannot be an auto mechanic. You digging up in diesel engine and gas engine and all kind of foolishness. You ever smell how diesel and gas they smell? Do you know that women who work in stations, there was a study that they did some years ago, I think it was the World Health Organization or some university did this study. I can't remember off the top of my head. You know one of the things they found? That women who work in service stations had infertility problem. A lot of them could not make children, and the ones who actually made children, they made children that had various issues, retardation, what they call the next thing, various issues, mental retardation, attention deficit hyperintensity disorder, what's the next thing? Oh gosh, dyslexia, all those type of things. Because remember, if a woman is pregnant or has to become pregnant, autism as well. So when children born with autism and mental retardation and all kind of thing, there are a number of things that contribute to that, you know. Don't feel it's genetics alone, you know. Don't think it's genetics alone. Don't think it's that alone. The body is a magnificent piece of machinery. There is nothing that there is nothing a human being on the face of the earth could do to replicate what God has done. I tell you so. All the foolishness they're talking about AI and AI, we understand artificial intelligence, but they will never, 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 absolutely, totally never be able to recreate what God created. They could never, no telescope on the face of the earth could match the human eye. Now, in distance, it might be able to see further. But when you look at the dynamics of what makes up the eyes and what are the processes that the body has to go through for vision, no man could replicate. You see this thing? A simple thing as your wrist, your hands. You know how hard it is for them to recreate this? Your digits? Virtually impossible. So it means you need to take very, 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 very good care of yourself. Don't take your body for granted. All these people now that getting cancer, you're not getting cancer just so. It have a reason why you're getting cancer. In order for you to have cancer, your ESR, which is your erythrocyte sedimentation ratio, or your C-reactive protein, has to pass through the roof. Your ESR is supposed to be 0 to 15 or 0 to 20. I have had people come to us with ESRs in excess of 140. That is madness. You are a perfect candidate because, listen to me, cancer has to have an environment in order for it to flourish. Let me ask you all a question. If your house is clean, so the ladies on the line, men too, because men is clean. If your house is clean, You all see the size of teacup we just deal with, right? Proper teacup. You want them little mini, them small stupid cup they just get, and you watch a big hardback man like me and give me a little mini cup. It's top cup like this you want. Nice? Right. Yeah. So, you have a ESR, your erythrocyte sedimentation ratio. Go and do some research. Because when Batson talking, Batson is talk facts. Facts. ESR is an acronym for erythrocyte sedimentation ratio. It is a blood test that is performed by a lab, and they give you a reading. On the normal scale of measurement, your ESR is supposed to be 0 to 15. In some quarters, US, Canadian is a little different, or 0 to 20. I am saying to you, if you do a blood test and your ESR is more than 20, watch yourself. You're a nice, perfect candidate for cancer. And those are some of the things that we address at Batson and Associates. So if you're serious, I sent out a challenge recently to people with PMS, women who have PMS. Let me clarify something for you. You are going to end up with, in some cases, dementia, Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, insomnia, what's the other one, boy? Parkinson, central nervous system breakdown. So when you come to Batson and Associates, all the ladies who have the hot flashes and you went through menopause, and those of you who did this thing, HRT, hormone replacement therapy, well, God bless you. Because a lot of the hormone replacement therapy that they have is actually noted to cause problems with cancer. So what I'm saying to you, you have problems. Regina Murray says that the reason I have natural hair and use coconut oil to moisturize my skin. I went to a nail salon once. My girlfriend invited me to go with her, and I had to put a mask on. I couldn't breathe. Yeah. So all them fancy acrylics and things, I ain't telling all the time about your fingernail looking like donkey and horse. And I'm not telling all of that. Because they were quick to say how Batson want. I'm not saying that. You could put on your nice nails and all kind of thing. But understand, when you went from inhaling that, make sure you have some Santulan in your fridge or something to clean, to deal with that situation. Because Santulan is a 7-channel detox. It cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. Someone wants to know about nerve restore. We'll talk about nerve restore in a little bit. Ms. Jenny Stewart says, good evening, Dr. Batson. I have ovarian cysts and a dermoid cyst. I'm taking Santulan right now. Do you think that will help me shrinking the cyst? Or do you think that the cyst is causing me, from getting pregnant? Well, the thing is, if you came to Batson Associates, I don't know if it is you just bought the Santulan just like that, or if you did a consultation or whatnot. But once you would have made it clear to us that your objective is to get pregnant, I'm just saying, based on what you type here, then make that objective clear so that in working with you, we will ensure that we dot our I's and cross our T's. Now, I can't remember everybody that we would have dealt with, and I don't know everybody's names by heart. So I don't know. I'm just asking or stating based on the question that you asked me. All right, Miss Jenny Stewart. But definitely there's a situation. But cysts would prevent pregnancy. The thing is, when you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, you all know the difference between polycystic ovarian syndrome and ovarian cysts, right? So you can have an ovarian cyst, which is one big cyst. But polycystic ovaries is when the ovaries themselves have numerous cysts, like a lot of cysts on them. In both instances, it is an indication of issues associated with hormonal imbalance. I am Hayden Stewart wife. Okay, good. Good. Yeah, definitely. So that is something. You are the lady in Philippines, I believe it is, right? So you can always let Hayden reach out to me because we did speak. So the Santulan is going to help you in that regard. I think he also got nerve restore as well. And I think he also got a woman's formula for you as well. All right. So subsequent to the live, you could always message me. But that is one of the reasons why women have problems with procreating. If you have ovarian cysts, if you have dermoid cysts, in fact, there are a number of different types of cysts that women could have. You have what, boy? I think you have over 100 different types of cysts. You know, you have Nabotian cysts, you have dermoid cysts, you have ovarian cysts, you have polycystic ovaries. There are a number of issues that you could have. But at Batson and Associates, one of the products that we carry is something known as women's formula. Now, let me tell you something about women's formula. Women's formula has been around 10 years now, right? And very soon, God's willing, we'll be actually able to take these products to a wider market where we're now able, you'll actually be able to buy it online and whatever the case may be. Good. You know, a lot of improving our service for our clients, because we don't only have clients in Trinidad and Tobago, but all over the world, all over the Caribbean, right? So it's a matter of getting better and better in our best, okay? So in situations like that, the women's formula is a product. Here what women's formula does. Women's formula helps to regulate your menstrual cycle. That's one. But why or how women's formula does that is because women's formula do not behave like birth control. It is not birth control. Birth control attempts to pound your ovaries into submission. That don't work. It does not work. It doesn't work. It wouldn't work. I'm telling you. Especially if you want to get pregnant and carry to term. Because that's where you want. A lot of women get pregnant, but they do not carry to term. A lot of them get miscarriages along the way. If you have very large fibroids, you cannot carry a child to term. If you have serious polycystic ovarian syndrome, you might even get pregnant. And if you do get pregnant, you have a lot of problems. So infertility is caused by a number of issues, but primarily the main issue of infertility is hormonal disruption, which is caused by what? An endocrine imbalance. And an endocrine imbalance can most likely be caused by a gastrointestinal imbalance. You notice at the genesis of the conversation, I spoke about fecal loading. So you literally have feces inside of your intestines. Based on the laws of anatomy and physiology, where is your uterus in conjunction to your, or in association, if you want to put it like that, to your bowels? Miss Donna Hovell says good afternoon. So I want you all to think of the question I'm asking. In relation to your uterus, where are your bowels located as it relates to your uterus? While you're thinking about the answer to that question, let me give you some information. So we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. That telephone number for Chaguanas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314. That's 314-9975. So again, that information, I could actually put the information there. I realize I'm now learning the people technology here. It's a little small. Right? So the telephone numbers are there, 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. Again, that's there, and it's right below. So you can feel free to give us a call. Remember some upcoming dates, and we have some open clinic days. So you have the Chaguanas office, God's willing, on Wednesday, please God, which is the 25th. Tomorrow, please God, is a holiday, so we're not open tomorrow, please God. But we do have that function and that event that we're having with Mr. Keyshawn Vane in Paramin. It is actually the Paramin Community Center. I was actually looking for a telephone number on our flyer there, but I realized that we did something there with that. But you could also reach out to any of those numbers, the 314. I want to verify there's a particular phone that we have, where someone will be able to take some calls tomorrow, please God. But that is where we're having the event. So I'm giving you, it is at the Paramin Community Center, and it is at 6 p.m. tomorrow, please God. You're invited. You could just come, walk along with a friend. It's basically talking about health and issues that affect individuals as regards to their health. We're going to be discussing weight loss. We're going to have some examples. We're going to have some, it's going to be very interactive. Okay, so apart from that, too, keep in mind on Wednesday, the 25th, we have an open clinic day in Chaguanas. So those of you could actually make yourself available, as well as the 28th and the 29th. The 28th and the 29th, we actually have St. James as well as Davie. So you could call those offices or call that telephone number. You can call tomorrow, and you could also call on Wednesday, please go, because somebody will return your call on Wednesday. That telephone number again is 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. Good. So back to the question that I was asking there as regards to what we're speaking about. Good. So the question I asked you is, where is the uterus located? Right? Pauline McKenna says it's between your rectum and your bladder. Right? Mary Elizabeth said they are neighbors. Correct. So the thing is, your uterus is to the front of your intestines. So if you have fecal loading in your intestines and it is so close to your uterus, what do you think happening? If you're living next to a neighbor and they're nasty and they don't clean their house and thing, and there are rats and mice and cockroach and thing, you will have to be continually cleaning your house because these vermin's going to want to come over you, right? Because they are neighbors. So if you have fecal loading, now think about it, and I don't understand why people doesn't have sense to know why they just get sick. You know? If you have chronic constipation, you are a perfect example for a cancer patient. It's just a matter of time. Because if you're not emptying your bowels properly and you have fecal loading, you end up with something known as auto-intoxication. So what is going to happen to you? And Mary Elizabeth spoke about like getting diverticulitis or bowel blockage. Yeah, it have some people who go and sit down and go to the washroom and they have to rush them to the hospital. You know, they actually have a situation where their bowels or their colon blocked. You know, that don't happen to any and everybody. That happens to someone who wasn't taking care of themselves. You wasn't eating properly. You didn't have sufficient fiber in your diet. You wasn't hydrating properly. So it's vitally important. It is essential that you mind your business. The thing is, your body speaks to you. So let me tell you some things that your body does be telling you. You see, if you pass plenty gas, so it's called a flatus. That's the medical term for it. In layman terms, people say you pass a lot of gas, you lose manners, you fart plenty. Flatus, right? That is an indication of your body's not digesting your food properly. Now, if in between you eat something that high in protein and that kind of thing, peas, you might have fish, like maybe salmon or some sort of fish or something, some sort of protein, chana, that type of thing, you're going to pass a little gas. That's to be expected, because of the digestive process. But if you consistently pass a lot of gas and belch a lot, something is wrong with you. If you have frequent headaches, you always have a headache. Every day you have a headache. You ought to be taking a painkiller every day. Something is wrong with you. You're a woman, you have a painful, uncomfortable menstrual cycle. Every month your period comes, you ought to be taking tablets. You're stealing from the people who work. Something is wrong with you. The old people have a saying, there is more in the mortar than the pestle. All you know that old people saying? Water more than flour. When you see those things happening to you, you're getting blurred vision all of a sudden, something is wrong with you. Brain fog. You sit down with the people meeting, you're falling asleep on yourself, you can't remember nothing. Brain fog. Something is wrong with you. Your skin. Your skin is an indication of a lot of things. You have a certain mark on your skin. You went by the dermatologist, they tell you you have eczema. All you know what eczema is? Eczema is a fancy way of saying that all the nonsense and the toxins inside your body coming out your skin. It is when the Andrew is asking excessive burping, your food is not digesting properly. You have a lot of excess gas. Your body is not breaking down your protein properly. So that means your liver not functioning properly as well. Do you realize that a lot of people now have issues with fatty liver? Let me tell you something. If you have fatty liver, mind your business. You're 2 minutes from dying. All you know me, I just talk plain. I don't mince words. I don't have time for games and them kind of stupidness. Because a lot of people does be very sick. And when they come to Batson and Associates and we explain to you how sick it is, you either do one of two things. You either start to comply and take the necessary adjustment and get help, or you complain and say you're fine, we're too fussy and we're too miserable. And we don't have a problem with that. If you find we're fussy and miserable, you do not need to continue our service. You could pay for a consultation, which we did for you, and you could find the door. No problem with that. Because we will never highlight to you that something is wrong when it is not. And when you have a fatty liver, you are 2 minutes from cirrhosis of the liver. And if you do some research, you will realize that cirrhosis of the liver is not something they have, nor should you take fatty liver for granted. I tell you, all these people who get in cancer now, they realize that a whole set of people is cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, bowel cancer, intestinal cancer, lung cancer, all this type of thing. Of course, there's a test for fatty liver, Gemini D. All you need to do to know, at Batson and Associates, we could tell you if you have a fatty liver. We see it in the blood analysis. We could send you to do a blood test, or if you do an ultrasound of the liver, the ultrasound of the liver will show that you have fatty liver. And let me tell you something, fatty liver is not a good thing. Miss Farida Singh asked about gallstones. Well, gallstones, you're going to hell in a coconut shell, as the people and them they say. Bad. Gallstones, you know what gallstones are? Which organ in the body is responsible for the digestion or the breakdown of fat? How is fat broken down in the body? Enzymes, one. So lipase is an enzyme that breaks down lipids. But your gallbladder does what? Your gallbladder deals with bile. What is the responsibility of bile? Bile is responsible for the emulsification of fats. That's one of the purposes why the body produces bile. So when you eat fats that your body cannot break down, you confuse that whole system and you end up with gallstones because the body cannot break down the fat. So it ends up storing in the gallbladder as gallstones. You're dying already. Because when that starts to give you trouble, the first thing the doctor is going to tell you is what? They need to do what? Take out your gallbladder. Why the hell are you taking out your gallbladder for? Why? Do you know that when you take out your gallbladder, you have digestive problems for the rest of your life? Ask anybody who take out the gallbladder. There is a reason why Almighty God, when he created the human body, he put your gallbladder inside a day. It have a reason for that. Don't let no doctor talk no nonsense for you. So half of these doctors behave like if there is God. And I don't understand how you take a Hippocratic oath and you're telling people to take out the organs. Only until you reach a point of emergency should you remove anything from your body. Do not take organs out of your body just like that. Because let me tell you something. You are the person who will be left holding the ball. And you'll hold that ball for the rest of your life because of the nonsense that you went and do. Right? Of course, there's help for people who suffer with gallstones. There are things to clean your gallbladder. You shouldn't have no gallstones. You need to do a proper gallbladder flush. Even Santulan is one of the products that is help with gallstones. But everything requires a protocol, and you all don't understand that. Because you have to be patient enough. Let me explain something about integrative medicine for you. That's why I'm so miserable, and I book people up and tell you, because I do, and people might say I'm disrespectful, and I really do business, honest to God. I am one of the most plain-spoken people. I am not going to let you come to us and waste your hard-earned money. I am going with the assumption that you didn't pick up your money in the road. You work for your money, and if it is your work for your money, it means that you need to come and spend it sensibly. Right? So when you come to us, you must be serious to work on what we tell you to work on to get the results that you want. Batson and Associates has an excellent reputation. I, Dr. Jason Batson, have an excellent reputation. It have one or two people who will talk foolishness and say they come by us and they didn't get results. But I'm saying to you that 99.9% of the time, they did not listen and they did not follow the proper instruction and they didn't give the things enough time to work. You cannot be sick since God said, when let there be light. From the founding of the world, you sick. You're eating stupidness, you're drinking stupidness, you're taking care of your body. You have 69,000 women. You just want to have everybody. You're not taking care of yourself. It have people who was alcoholics. You're drinking rum left, right, and center. You used to fall long and drain and sleep and thing. You think your body just get rid of that just so and just get healthy just so because you just stop drink rum? Cigarette. You're smoking cigarette for years. I don't judge nobody. I'm telling you. Everybody had advice. You have to know what's killing you. And if what's killing you, if you're not sensible enough to have enough sense to stop what's killing you, then there's your business. Continue what you're doing and dead in peace. I have no problem with that. But what I'm saying to you, the point is this. You can't ill-treat your body for years. You drink rum and all you know, alcohol has no benefit for the human body, none whatsoever. You smoke 1,000 million pack of cigarettes. And it's because you stop smoking 20 years and you stop drinking 20 years, you figure your body good. No. You did damage in the past and you didn't do anything in a collective, sensible manner to correct the problem. So how the hell you go get better? That don't make no sense. I just talk plain. You like me, you don't like me. I don't business. I don't have time. Because I know when you come in that office and we take you under our wing at Batson and Associates, we are responsible for you. So how would you feel? You helping somebody, you telling them what to eat, you're telling them what to drink, you're telling them to follow the protocol. They're doing what the hell what they want when they're in the house, and then they come back to you and tell you they're still sick. That wouldn't frustrate you? No. I'm not taking that kind of worries. And I will know if it is you're following the protocol. Plain talk, bad manners. I'm telling you, I don't business. I don't. Because it's seriousness. Because when you have cancer, you want to live. Why is it people just wait until they have cancer to drink soursop leaf? Drink the soursop leaf before. Why are you waiting to get diabetes when you could go and take a cleanser? Santulan is not $1 million. If you buy 3 bottles of water at Batson Associates and a Santulan, I am telling you, you're going to get your money's worth. You look at when I'm doing the lives, how much people just comment and say, hey, Dr. Batson, I use Santulan, Nerve Restore, Women's Formula. I don't sell rubbish. I guarantee you, I don't sell stupidness. But you have to understand, like everything else, it's like when you go to the gym. I just go to the gym. When you go to the gym, you could go to the gym with 5 of your friends. The people who get the results with anything in life are the people who do what? Who are consistent and disciplined in what they are doing. Don't try to pull wool over my eye and talk nonsense. You come by Batson Associates, you eat an ice cream every day, and use the product, or we tell you to use it, and you come and sit down in my office when you have the review and tell me my product can work. I am going to run you. I am telling you, because I will know that you wasn't doing what you were supposed to do. Now, you might start the process, and gradually you start to get better bowel movement. You have to put in the work. And the thing with Batson Associates, you will not get an organization like ours that are trained the way we are trained. People like Ms. Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Rene Bastamante, Mr. Green, and others to guide you through a protocol. Could we better our best? Of course. We're working on it. That's how we have the circulation regeneration tea. Let's see my big cup of tea here. Watch the cup. Watch it. Watch it. Proper thing. And I'm so bad I put a little rough skin lemon inside it. The whole piece of the rough skin lemon. Watch it. I'm bad enough to take it out and show you. Proper thing. That is the size of teacup you need. Watch it good. Drink a nice cup of tea before you go and sleep. Say a prayers, belch. You have to ensure that you follow through on the work. Mary Elizabeth says, we love you because of the straight talk, Dr. Batson. Yeah. Miss Donna Howell, put in the work. Miss Petal says, trust me, he don't sell rubbish. I try to buy the water every month, even if it's 1 bottle. Yeah, all I hear Petal say that. Thanks, Petal. I don't sell stupidness. I don't make joke with that. And let me tell you something. When we finish with what we're doing with this dotish food and drug that we're dealing with in Trinidad, we're talking a pack of nonsense with what we bring in and what we bring in. When they encouraging us that stupidness coming in the country and proper thing to help people, they playing the fool. When we don't deal with them, then they're going to get even better thing. Because right now, they're on real foolishness. Ms. Ellis says, good evening, Dr. Batson from Columbus, Ohio. I must say I have taken care of myself over the years. When I was going through the testing, because I found out about sarcoidosis, the doctor needed to do a biopsy. I told him I wanted it non-invasive. He kept saying it may be cancer. I told him he would not find cancer because I know that I did not have it. After the biopsy was done, he came back and said he did not find anything. I am now doing clinical trials for sarcoidosis. Tell me, or yes, tell us exactly how we... Let's start trying to get your whole thing here. Tell us exactly how we... Okay, I think you must be typing something else there, Dawn. Dawn, what it is you need to do with that sarcoidosis diagnostic? Because what I'm doing with my office now is that we're going over all the international clients. So what we're going to have to do, I'm going to have to do a review So I'm going to have to do a next session at a next consultation with you. And I'm going to give you some specific guidelines as to how to deal with that sarcoidosis, to deal with it to the point that it goes. Sarcoidosis is a very annoying infection, but it's an indication of high inflammation in the body. We could deal with that. And I know you would have used some things from us, Dawn. How did those things go? Hey, this Stuart. Yes, Dr. Batson is the real deal. I'm so impressed. Thank you very much, sir. Germany D say, my sister-in-law had serious stomach problems. After drinking the Alkagen water for 2 weeks, she is now better and has not stopped and has not substance. Yeah, it have good things. We have to be willing to help you. There's a financial consequence to everything. I always tell all of that. We drive cars. We put on clothes. There are plenty of things you do, right? But at the end of the day, you need to take care of your body. Sickness is not nice. I see all these people now, there are people on social media, they have cancer, they're talking. I applaud them because people for some reason think that cancer is a battle that they have to fight, you know. You could avoid cancer. There are things that you could do in your body on a daily basis to avoid you from getting cancer, but a lot of people don't do it. You know why? And I have a number of reasons why they do it. Some don't care. Some don't know. Some don't have time. If you don't have time to take care of yourself, how you want me as the doctor to take care of you? How that making sense? Tell me. How that making sense? Tell me. Miss Royal Penny asks, Dr. Batson, can teenagers take Santulan? Yes, they can. Listen to me. Santulan could be given to a child that is at the age of 3. 3 years, and somebody who is 110 could use Santulan. We just need to shift the dosage accordingly. Because Santulan is a product. It is operate like a CPAP gang, you know. When you see that Santulan go down inside of the intestines, it dealing with acid reflux. It dealing with buildup on the esophagus. It dealing with chronic inflammation. It dealing with intestinal polyps. It dealing with diverticulitis. But people who have inflammatory bowel conditions should not use Santulan in the beginning. They cannot use it. We have to ensure that we put certain things in place. And that is why I tell you all, save up your little money and come and do the executive consultation package that we have at Batson and Associates. That package has, I kept that package one price for a long time. And that was to help people to get a proper diagnosis. Let me tell you something. You know what makes Batson and Associates stand out from the rest? And listen to me, all you see nothing yet. It have plenty more to come. Take what I tell you only. In the name of Jesus, it have plenty more to come. Plenty more. It's because we are thorough in what we do. I'm not doing this today. I understand anatomy and physiology like the back of my hand. I'm telling you so. I could help sick people with my 2-hand tie behind my back, blindfold and tie up inside a box. I could help you. But you have to listen. The problem with a lot of people, you do not listen. Why would you come to somebody? You come for help, and when they give you advice, you don't take the advice. That make no sense. That will get anybody upset. So I'm telling you now, one time, we do not play games. I deal with people who come and you're serious and you want to get better. When it is you balding, you're a 25-year-old man or a 35-year-old man and all your hair falling off your head, don't tell me no nonsense about your father. That have nothing to do with your father. You are not taking care of yourself. A lot of these young people don't take care of themselves. They eat rubbish every day. These are soft drink and snack generation. They don't know what dongs look like. They don't know what this thing, what is called the thing, boy? Balata. It has some people never see balata in their life. Okay? So yes, a 6 measurement for Santulan for a 6-year-old. A 6-year-old could take Santulan. They could take 2 ounces. You put a 2-ounce glass. If it is your want, you could put a little more water inside it and you give them to drink. And they drink that on an empty stomach. What is an empty stomach? Either an hour before or 2.5, 3 hours after a meal is an empty stomach. Miss Elizabeth Martin says Santulan is good. Santulan is a boss product. I drink in Santulan right now. I could go in the fridge now and show them a Santulan. But you have to understand that you need to do what is required to get better. It has some people don't want to get better. You know, I'm convinced about that. You have headache for years. Who had this with them for years? You dying. And don't tell me no nonsense about headache running your family, and your mother had headache, and your mother's sister had headache, and the dog had headache, and the plant had headache. That have nothing to do with you. Stop going on this crutch that you have, that your mother was a diabetic, so because your mother was eating things that she was not supposed to eat. Your grandmother was eating things that she was not supposed to eat. She was not taking care of herself. How come I don't have diabetes? My great-grandmother had diabetes. My grandfather had diabetes. But I can tell you the stupidness that they used to do. They didn't used to take care of themselves. So I'm going to just say no, because both of them had diabetes, I'm going to get diabetes. You mad? When you're a man and you have diabetes, you have erectile dysfunction. I don't want that. You get blind before your time. I don't want that. You look old and horrible before your time. Why would I do something to get diabetes? Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Okay? Can't stand when the doc says that. Can't stand what? When I say what? The diabetes? Or don't have? Wait till you can't stand there. Royal Penny said, what is the measurement of santulan for a 16-year-old? A 16-year-old could use anything between 6 to 8 ounces on an empty stomach. Remember, an empty stomach is either an hour before a meal or 2.5, 3 hours after a meal. So that's why we normally recommend when you use the santulan, you use santulan at about 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So for school children, what they could do is when they drink the santulan, when they come home on an empty stomach, they'll get a bowel movement either late in the night or early in the morning. So it wouldn't affect them when they have to go to school the subsequent day. All right? And I talk plain about that. Stop with this thing with your I had to buff a nurse and tell her no way, because both my mom and dad are diabetic. She still said, I will be as well. No. Yeah, don't let nobody fool you with that stupidness. There are a lot of people in the medical community that talk that nonsense. They like to use that as a crutch. Diabetes is a lifestyle disease. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. People who have diabetes, they need to understand that they need to do the work. Diabetes is not a joke. Diabetes is not a friend. You can imagine something blinding you and you playing with it. Diabetes is blind you. You end up with something known as detached retina. You know what detached retina is? That is when the back of your eye, when blood pool in the back of your eye and it start to go blind. You could imagine the manner of rubbish and disruptment and confusion and calamity inside of your body for your eye to be bleeding. That's madness. That doesn't happen to a healthy person. So what foolishness you're telling me when people come in to tell you you have diabetes, and it have people say, well, I have diabetes, but I eat what I want. Well, you continue eating what you want with the diabetes, and you'll continue being a diabetic. And then eventually they'll cut off your toe, and then they'll cut off your foot because they don't listen. Yes, Miss McKenna, that is what is called diabetic retinopathy. That is the medical terminology for it. Bleeding behind the eyes. Poor circulation. You getting pins and needles cramping in your cars, burning on their feet. You again, imagine a whole nail, a nail long like this run up inside of your foot, a whole nail like this going up inside of you, and you ain't feel nothing. And you looking to look at me and expect me to talk like if it is we having tea or something. Is buffer going to buff you up? Because you need to do better than what you're doing. And we need you when you come to us to get results. We're not playing games. You could imagine you are a big man, you have diabetes, and you have erectile dysfunction. You cannot have a proper erection. You cannot satisfy a woman, and you they playing picture want to eat where you want. Well, continue with your foolishness. And when you get horn and all kind of thing go wrong with you, don't vex with the world. You do yourself that. Because you must be disciplined enough and hard-working enough and diligent enough to help yourself. What kind of life is that? What kind of life is that? It does not make any sense. Your eyesight start to go blind. Which is why at that integrative diabetic clinic that we have at Batson and Associates, we will help you. We will bring down the A1C, HbA1c for you. We will improve your blood circulation. We will reduce the diabetic retinopathy, all them pins and needles cramping in your calves on their foot. But you have to understand that you're like a car that gets in an accident. You get bounced up, you get mashed up. So you require work to fix your back and repair you and put you. And that requires time. It requires discipline. It requires consistency. And if you're not willing to do that, then Batson and Associates is not the place for you. Plain talk, bad manners. There are hundreds of people who could come on this live and message and talk about products and services we have. We know what we're doing, but you have to be willing to do the work. Miss Elizabeth Mary hit the nail on the head here. She said, remember, listeners, Dr. Batson once told us, genetics load the gun, but lifestyle pull the trigger. I totally agree with that. I second that. Genetics load the gun, but lifestyle pull the trigger. Always remember that. You have diabetes, test your blood sugar every day. I don't care about the sticking and the sticking, because we have to be able, you could only manage what you measure. Okay? Miss Petal Flower says, what is the measurement, doctor? Said, my phone volume went down here. And Petal, you asked about your son. Was it 16? Your son, just now, your son was which one, Gail? Because more than one person asked me about that Santulan. Just now, Petal. Or for a 5-year-old. And let me see, 5 years old. Just now, Petal. And the water. Okay, you know how much your son weighs, Petal? Where's your son weight? Go and weigh him firstly. Well, he must be sleeping. All right. Pauline McKenna, touch on cholesterol, please. Okay, no problem. Miss Marcia Letchen, Dr. Batson and Associates are awesome. They are very good at what they do. Ask my granddaughter. She have a baby boy, and me, I'm very thankful to Batson and Associates. They are the best. Yes. Congratulations. Yeah. And listen to me. You know how much people came to us for infertility? And I mean, I could understand they get a baby and they're happy and they didn't even come back. But we found out from other people. People get results by us. Oh, you don't know Petal? All right, well, Petal, here what to do. The water for him, you're going to get his weight. You must have a little bathroom scale or something. They could get you weight. And the water he should drink. But the Santulan, if he's 5 years, you should give him like about 2 or 3 ounces in a cup. And give him about 2 ounces and add a little bit of water in it. And let him drink it on an empty stomach. He could do that every other day. All right, Petal? About 2 to 3 ounces in a glass of water. Oh, no, 2 to 3 ounces, rather, on an empty stomach. He could drink it like that. All right? Danny Mark said, I have low blood. What should I do before taking Santulan? Excellent question. Before taking Santulan, you could actually check out Batson and Associates. You could use the Alkagen water. There's a nutrient-dense greens that we carry, which has the roots and the grass in it. You could ask for that product as well as the advanced chlorophyll. Right? Depending on how low the blood is, what you could do, you could bring your latest blood test, your CBC, so we could also give you some advice where that is concerned. Regina Murray says, you have to be men back by Dr. Batson. We just have to do the work. Stop being licorice. Yeah. You're sure right. Elizabeth Martin says, I just drink Santulan first in the morning and last in the night. Is that a good thing to do? Yes, it is. And Santulan is something, it is know how your body works to Santulan. Santulan is deal with everybody a little differently. But once you follow the general rule, and the rule for Santulan is this. If you know you're not accustomed drinking water, do not drink the Santulan just like that. At least for a week, drink your body weight divided by 2 ounces of water. Once you start taking your Santulan after that and you continue taking your water, you wouldn't have a problem. If you have low blood count and you have not done a cleanse in a while, you do not use Santulan just like that. All right? There are simple ways. Once you follow the instruction, you follow the rules, you're going to get what you're looking for. Okay, Joan Williams says, good night to the best doctor. I take that with blessings. Right? So, the cholesterol. Let me touch on cholesterol, and then we're going to look to finish up. It's actually 10:15. We're going to finish. So, the program is going to be an hour and 20 minutes. It's now an hour and 14. So, we're going to do that. Miss Farida saying, hi, my granddaughter always getting sick, cold and fever. She's 5 years old. Miss Singh, there's an easy thing to fix. If you want, you come to Batson and Associates, you get 3 bottles of the Alkagen water, listen to me, and you get something known as the silver with mineral formula. And what you do with that, Miss Singh, you give your granddaughter a tablespoon, it is look like water, thing, depending on how the pocket running, if you could afford not the anthocyanin, if you could afford the, I just saying it, Don't take what I'm saying as I just tell people that with finances now, because you know everybody had to watch their pocket nowadays. What they call the thing, boy? The resveratrol compound. That's a really good product, and that is something that you could use, she could use, and she wouldn't get sick. And you mix that together, Miss Lady, I'm telling you, in about a week to 2 weeks' time, your granddaughter will stop getting sick. And you will see how her immunity is going to improve significantly. Okay, guys? As regards to cholesterol, what is cholesterol? The thing is, the body needs cholesterol. You have two types of cholesterol. You have LDL, which is the LDL, which is low density lipoprotein, and you have HDL, which is the high density lipoprotein. The HDL is the healthy cholesterol, and that is what you're supposed to have in higher amounts, right? Now, the thing is, cholesterol is very controversial. What you really need to pay attention to, because there's no correlation between high cholesterol and heart disease. A lot of people do not know that. The correlation is between triglycerides, high triglycerides, and also there's a component. So high triglycerides are usually warning signs of issues associated with cardiovascular problems, but that is the high triglycerides, not necessarily cholesterol. If you have a higher cholesterol, let's say about over 250, because that one something they'll be talking about, I disagree with that. Anytime your cholesterol go to low in problems, because every cell in the human body requires cholesterol, especially men. In order for a man to have and maintain a healthy erection, in order for you to maintain healthy memory and healthy brain cells, you need to have a certain amount of cholesterol in the body. All right, so I often tell persons, keep your cholesterol levels like below, like anywhere between 220 and under is okay, but you don't want it to be too low. But that's a whole topic for conversation. So on a next time, like maybe when I do the Sunday night, so when I have Thursday program coming up here, I could touch and do a program on cholesterol for you guys. Okay, Ms. Farida Singh, so I give you the advice with your granddaughter there. So let me give you those telephone numbers again and locations. The telephone numbers are sliding there. Check out 2 answers prior. That's who? That's Dawn. You sent an answer for me. Or Donnells. Similar to patients who would say that my mother lost all her teeth at a certain age, so they know they would lose their teeth. So why worry about taking care of it? Yeah, that's trippiness. That's foolishness. So that's Dawn Ellis, who I know as a dental hygienist for years in abroad there. And one of the things she highlighted the ignorance of people, and people always do that. They go on the crutch and say, but your mother have, and I don't care what this is my mother, after God, has. My mother is pretty healthy. My great-grandmother had diabetes, and I could tell you why she had diabetes. She used to eat everything, and especially pork. When you tell her about pork, she don't hear nothing. She wants pig, right? My grandfather, who was her son, who I had a lot of love and respect for, he kind of did like a little alcohol, and he used to drink. Plain talk, bad manners. He was a joiner. He used to do a lot of spraying, and he didn't take care of himself. And I believe, quite frankly, if he had taken better care of himself, he might have been here today. Because our family, they live long. They are long livers. Because we have a mix with Vincentian and Grenadian and Bajan. There's a whole kind of mix of something. Because Batson you'll find a lot of Batsons in Barbados. But Batson is a big surname. And then Sogre, which is my father, named as French Creole. So we have some good lineage. You get some good stock. But you just need to continue to take care of yourself. And that's why I always tell people that genetic load the gun and lifestyle pull the trigger. So genetic loads the gun and lifestyle pull the trigger. So stop making excuses and saying, but your mother had this and your father had this and your cousin had it. Stop it. Because you will end up in a situation, or ever see what diabetes is do to people, especially the ones who don't take care of themselves. Could you tell me what diabetes do to people? Diabetes is lick you up. Let me tell you something. The simplest analogy I could use is that when you are diabetic and you do not take care of yourself and you don't mind your business like most of y'all don't do, and you have hypertension and you don't mind your business like most of y'all don't do, you are a block of ice in the sun. You will melt away. And I say that with no apologies, because a lot of people don't mind the business. If you didn't learn anything from this life, learn this. Mind your business. Mind your business when coming to your health. Because not doing that, the doctor can't do everything for you. The government hospital is not a hotel when you play the fool and you do strippiness and you go there and you have to wait 1,000 years to get a bed, yes, we pay in tax and you're supposed to, but the hospital is for emergency. The hospital is not a hotel. When you go in the hospital, they do not give you salmon and vegetable to eat. You will get bread and all kind of foolishness to send up your blood sugar. So mind your business, take care of yourself and stay out of the people's hospital. That is what you need to do. And I say that again with no apologies. Stop playing the fool. We are adults. We are not little children. Okay? So if you really want help and you're serious, get the telephone number. It's below there, 222-8261. We're doing that health symposium or that seminar with Mr. Kishon Vane tomorrow, please God, at the Paramin Community Center. It's starting at 6 p.m. So you all, if you are wrong and you're close and you want to run up the road and mind we business a little bit. And in minding our business, you will be minding your business. Good? Those telephone numbers again are 222-8261. Yes. Chan Kisun says the tongue has life and death in it. You're sure right. And I agree with that. But Chan, one of the things they need to do, you can only reap what you sow. Because that's some people just believe, oh God, I could blaze and bless them. They sit down and eat strippiness and because they're praying and there's pastor. Yes, God, and they're eating strippiness. Pastor, this guy had attack and dead. So don't feel because you might be anointed with the Holy Spirit or whatever the case you think is going on with you and the Creator. That is your divine right. But mind your business because God himself said that you're going to reap what you sow. And he also said too, that obedience is better than sacrifice. Mind your business and listen to what you have to do. Check out the Nerve Restore. Nerve Restore. It's spelled Nerve Restore. R-E-S-T-O-R-E. When they call in Batson and Associates, ask them about that. Ask about the Santulan, the 7-channel detox that cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. You have diabetes, you're getting pins and needles, cramping, and your calves burning under your feet. You're not seeing good. You're getting erectile dysfunction. You're not standing up properly. Check Batson and Associates. But make sure you're serious. We're not playing games. The days we're playing pitch and moral, and then this is done. We are adults. We are big people. Good? Ruby Samuel says, thank you, Doc. Very informative program. Good night. God bless. Ruby, like she gone and she bed, boy. Ruby, pull she cover lead. Ruby, it was nice having you on the live. Miss Cathy Ann St. John, she says, very informative. Okay? So if you want help and you're serious, find out. We have a package. Those of you who had Batson and Associates before and you want to get yourself back in order and find out, we have a really nice package that includes the consultation, the complimentary for detox, and your blood, your live and dry blood analysis. We also have for new persons that package with your dry blood, your live blood, your magnetic resonance analysis, and your consultation. Oh, Ruby says she's still there. Okay. So it is now 10:24, and it is now time to bring this program to an end. I'll buff all you up a little bit, but you know the buff is a buff with love. So I expect you all to take better care of yourself. Check out the open clinic days. Check out that office at Shogunas. Shogunas is the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. We also on the corner of Ramsamud Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. Those of you Debe people will be actually down there on Friday and Saturday. St. James as well, we also have an open clinic there on Friday and Saturday. So make sure and get all the information. Those of you who are abroad and overseas, we do online consultations. So you can always reach out on the 314-9975. Send us a WhatsApp there. Area code, of course, will be 868-314-9975. It's running below the live there, so you could write it down before you go, and you could send your information. Okay, it's always a pleasure to be in your company. Thank you very much for inviting me into your home, and I hope that the information would have reached you with some form of positivity. I know some of you all might find that a little rough around the edges, but I ain't going to change. So I'm a little rough up, this be good. You can't get soft all the time. You gotta get a little rough up sometime, right? And understand the seriousness of the matter and what you need to do with your health. Miss Pauline McKenna, always a pleasure. Just Adlin. So check out the Nerve Restore, Santulan. Good night to you, Mr. Stewart, and your beautiful wife in the Philippines there. I'll take a trip on that side in the very near future. Check out the Circulation Regeneration Tea, the Anthocyanin Complex. Check out the Silver with Mineral Formula. You have children, They're going to school. They always have a sniffy nose. Always, school is the easiest place to get sick. Check out the silver with the mineral formula. Okay, guys? Okay, what did he say about bread? Bread for breakfast, anybody? Okay, the thing with bread, what I'll tell you with bread, quickly, there's the last point I'll make. Too much of bread is not a good thing. But if you have a healthy bread, a nice whole grain bread that you make with, a lot of roughage, you put some quinoa, you put some flaxseed, you put some nuts, you put some raisins, or you can make proper bread. It's a proper bread that you can make. That's what I like Tobago for. Them Tobagonians make nice bread, dashing bread, carrot bread. Make the bread with some nice roughage inside it. Stop eating a sort of dead bread. That's the problem. The bread not necessarily bad, but no dead bread. Right? We'll have our next conversation about that. So God bless you guys. Be safe. As we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Look at the size of the teacup all you need to get. Watch the cup. Watch it good. Don't get them little stupid teacup where you're doing nothing. Get proper teacup and check out the circulation regeneration tea and all those wonderful teas that we have at Batson and Associates. Have a good night. God bless. And remember, those of you who are in the Paramin area, tomorrow, please God, 6 p.m., Paramin Community Center. We're going to have a nice session there with Mr. Vane and his team. Look out for that. God bless. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. Bye.